Guess what I got asked? Yep, the classic "what's the deal with this idiom?" Off the grid. I will explain it, and you've got it covered today. Let me tell you a story to clear up any misunderstandings about the idiom's literal meaning. Imagine someone asking for directions to a place that's off the grid. They might think the place is not on the map, but in reality, it means the place is not connected to the main power grid. Off the grid means being disconnected from the main power grid or living without modern amenities like electricity or the internet. To remember the meaning easily, think of someone living in a remote cabin in the woods without any connection to the outside world. They are living off the grid. Let me share a story to help you understand the idiom better. John decided to go off the grid for a week and disconnected from all technology. He spent his days hiking, fishing, and enjoying nature without any distractions. Here are 10 fun facts about off-the-grid living that English learners should know. 1. It's a growing trend in the US. 2. It can reduce your carbon footprint. 3. It requires self-sufficiency skills. 4. It can be challenging but rewarding. 5. It's not just for hippies and survivalists. 6. It's possible to live off the grid in the city. 7. It can save you money in the long run. 8. It's a lifestyle choice. 9. It requires careful planning and preparation. 10. It's not for everyone. Let me give you 5 examples of how to use the idiom in different contexts. 1. I'm going off the grid for the weekend and disconnecting from all technology. 2. They live off the grid in a remote cabin in the woods. 3. The tiny house is off the grid and runs on solar power. 4. He's been off the grid since he quit social media. 5. The village was off the grid until they installed a wind turbine. Here's an example sentence using off the grid. John decided to live off the grid to reduce his carbon footprint. Rephrased. John chose to live without modern amenities to reduce his carbon footprint. Or, John decided to live in a remote cabin to reduce his carbon footprint. Let me share a real-life story to highlight the effectiveness of living off the grid. The village of El Cabrito in Spain has been off the grid for over a decade, relying on solar power and wind turbines for their energy needs. They've reduced their carbon footprint and become self-sufficient, inspiring other communities to follow their example. Other similar expressions to off the grid include disconnected, unplugged, and off the radar. Opposite expressions include connected, plugged in, and on the radar. Let's see if you've mastered the idiom with these 3 quizzes. 1. Quiz. Which of the following is not an example of living off the grid? A. Using solar power. B. Living in a remote cabin. C. Using a generator. Answer, C. 2. Quiz. What does off the grid mean? A. Living without modern amenities. B. Connected to the main power grid. C. Living in a city. Answer, A. 3. Quiz. What is a memory aid for off the grid? A. Living in a city. B. Living in a remote cabin. C. Living in a modern house. Answer, B. To sum up, off the grid means being disconnected from the main power grid or living without modern amenities. It's a lifestyle choice that requires careful planning and preparation but can be rewarding and reduce your carbon footprint. Remember, it's all about living self-sufficiently and without modern technology.